Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Rift, where we got the opportunity to talk with a few players, coaches, and more people from esports organization. Today, we're focusing on my natural league, LPLO. We're jumping back and talking with someone that's probably the MVP of the entire split, Own3r the jungler for the win. How you doing, man?
Hello, thank you for having me.
Nah, thank you for accepting, man. And we're coming after the day that you got accepted or qualified for the knockout stage of the play-ins for the U Masters. So congratulations on that one. But before we talk about U Masters, Zona, I wanted to focus on you. I want to get to know you as a player. So tell me, how did you get into gaming? And did you start as a single player gamer or straight up for competitive multiplayer?
Uh, I started with started gaming a few years ago.
Okay.
I think RuneScape maybe was the beginning, but
Okay.
uh, but a friend of mine told me about League, and this was probably my second game. I didn't really play many games before that, and yeah, a few years later I'm here.
So you don't play single player games. You don't play Last of Us on none of that. You just go for
Uh,
multiplayer.
I play that for fun, but yeah, it's not really my cup of tea.
Okay, makes sense. And then you joined a lot of teams. I think you started on 2016 back in the day. Then you joined XD.4. But my question is about For the Win in 2019. You stayed there for 3 years. You're still rocking it hard.
Yeah.
So we don't usually see that sort of commitment coming in from players. What makes you feel that For the Win is your house and you want to stay at For the Win?
I mean, it's a question of if I'm playing in Portugal
Mm.
for the win, I think is the best place to be at. And yeah, since I'm still in Portugal, I'm still in for the win. It's a commitment from both parts, I would say.
It's a handshake, I see. And looking into your Masters this split, Portuguese teams are looking a little bit harder right now. It seems finally you guys are waking up. You're showing up on international stage. What do you believe is the difference? Is that you guys are feeling more comfortable, showcasing your aggressiveness? You're feeling confident in your skill. What do you believe is the big difference between previous splits versus this one?
Honestly, I think previous splits we actually have maybe easier groups, but the problem was our own gameplay. We weren't really,
Hmm.
I don't know, playing the best at our play. We don't feel like we're playing our best, but it's still it shows that it's enough, at least for this stage. And yeah, it gives us good hope for the rest, for knockouts and maybe getting into groups.
I mean, you have a really good group for you, so or at least knockout stage at this moment. So
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful for the win to make it through. And when you look into League of Legends, we have a lot of talent in Portugal. We have a lot of players, coaches. Even Attila stepped on stage and kicked Uzi. And what do you believe is the big difference between those players that go outside of Portugal versus a full 5-man roster of Portuguese players? What is the big difference for you?
I mean, what I feel like when what happens when you have a full Portuguese roster
Yeah.
is you can like you can play around beyond Discord, and it's maybe a bit more chill. People stay because it's the same environment kind of.
Hmm.
When we're playing with imports, because we have two imports in this roster. Uh, it's y- it's not exactly the same. Although we have a team environment and we have a good environment, it's not exactly the same. When I've had the Portuguese rosters, we've always felt a bit more in sync, I would say.
And you think it's harder to play with the 5-man roster of Portuguese players, or it's easier to bring imports? And it seems like things are more focused down onto specifically play the game instead of the gold old saying of trolling a little bit.
I mean, it should narrows down a bit when we don't have a full Portuguese roster. I
Mm.
think we troll a bit less. Uh, when we have a full Portuguese roster, I would say we tend to get a bit more cocky and
Yep.
kind of play for fun a bit. But yeah, I would say also having imports also has something positive. I would
Mm.
say, which is the communication is a lot. It's more clean because there's way less
Noise.
thing. Yeah, way less information going around. You just say the what you have to say exactly, and you kind of win time in communication in that sense.
That's really interesting. It seems like the communication is easier when it's not five men talking about the same language.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
I mean, you see example of Korean players, or
Mm-hmm.
even when Impact was on Cloud9, he just said top die. Everything, everything is there. He said what he had to say, and it's the fastest way possible.
Yeah, two words. Why speak big words when you can speak small words? I love that saying. Now we look into the URLs owner, and you look into LFL, you look into LVP, and those players are capable of playing League of Legends full time. That is a
Yeah.
big bonus. And when you look into LPLO, when you look into Portugal and the way it has developed from the past, do you think that one day it will be available for you guys to have like a full-time paid job on League of Legends, and you guys can actually focus on that one? Or do you still think it's really far away? And if so, what do you believe has to change in order for LPLO to be one of the big ones?
I mean, I hope that it's not that far away.
Mm,
I think we're going in a good direction lately. The last LAN event we had was a pretty good sign of development,
yeah.
going behind the scenes, and I think hopefully if we keep this going, and orgs will also have to step up with more money, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what defines if it's possible or not to go full time. It's
Mm,
if there's resources to invest your time and not having to worry about college or anything else.
okay.
Um, but I would say we're going in the right direction.
That's good to know. Yeah, I saw your finals and you guys went to Altice Arena, which is a big thing. It was
Yeah.
packed, people were there, so seems like the community is waking up for LPLOL. Do you feel the same thing? Do you feel the same way when you look into the community? The viewers are rising, people are showing up to events. Do you feel the community is getting back on track?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's been a growth in viewers the last few years in
Mm-hmm.
Twitch, but at LAN events, this last event was really the next stage from where we were before, because yeah, we can see a clear growth from a few months ago to just this last LAN.
That's good. Now, owner, Tiago, owner, we get to the good part, by the way. We get to the personal. And I want to know, as a jungler, what is your favorite play style? What sort of teammates do you prefer to have on the team? And then we can talk about for the win as they currently are. But tell me, how do you like to play as a jungler? And what sort of teammates do you like to have on a team?
I mean, I like to have. I would say I like to have teammates that like to play the game early game. Just
Mm,
play aggressive, play not for fun. I wouldn't say for fun, but yeah, at the end of the day, you have to have fun,
yeah.
and it's an important part. And yeah, I like having a aggressive early game where we can play around and yeah, kind of kind of do our thing and be free. I don't really like the slow play style that just creates kind of boring games. Nobody likes that.
So, owner, do you think you have that play style while playing in for the win?
I think in spring we had it more.
Mm.
In spring, we played a lot around early game. Now we scale a bit more. It's fine. I don't mind, but yeah, it's not my favorite playstyle.
Now tell me something. Obviously, you've been in esports for a long time. Can you look back into your time of esports and tell me what was your toughest moment in esports?
My toughest moment.
Yeah, the one you look back and you say like, "Oh, this is rough. This was painful to live."
I mean, like overall in a like a year, a total year, I would say 2020.
Okay.
It's we had a really good year in 2019, and yeah, 2020 wasn't our year, and I think I was a part of it. I didn't really perform that year, and yeah, considering the team we had and the expectations, yeah, it was really, I would say, the worst moment.
And as a player, you look into that year, it just didn't click for you guys. It was really complicated. I was watching that, I was casting that, I was like, huh, this is not going well for the win. So tell me something. How do you keep your mentality strong when you're facing those sort of adversities?
Uh, I mean, just have to play your game and try to eventually overcome the difficulties that you have,
Hmm.
and try to yeah, get good until it matters. And well, that year we had a good start, but we lost in the finals, and then it was downhill from there. We really we really couldn't stop it.
So tell me, we talked about the toughest one. I want to know about the best moment so far in your career. The moment you look back and you're like, I'm going to remember this for all time. Like, this is going to be my moment. Obviously, you're still going to have more moments as you go along with your career, but I want you to tell me your favorite moment so far.
I mean, I think it's kind of maybe standard answer. I would say my first finals win in 2019.
Mm.
It's I have never won a playoffs game until then. I've been to playoffs a few times. I had always gotten 3-0, and yeah, in 2019 we won 3-0, and it felt good. I would say winning the first game felt better than winning the finals. I just when I won the first game, I just knew we were going to win.
So tell me, where do you want to go? Where is Own3r dream lies? What is your achievement?
I mean, hopefully we can have a good year Masters, and
Okay, good start, yeah.
and I mean we'll see what opportunities come up, if they come up, and yeah, I mean playing full time has always been a dream. I'm also in college. If I don't
Yeah.
get uh, an opportunity, I can just stay in college and keep going, and it's yeah, it's it's not something I haven't experienced before. In 2019, I also had the expectations to go outside, and yeah, I didn't, but I'll just keep on grinding.
Own3r, imagine at the end of this split, you do really well on EU Masters, and other ERLs are looking at you. We're talking about LFL, LVP, NLC, even Prime League if you're unlucky, but all those are looking at you, and the team that you want to play in the future looks to you and says, okay, you can come to us as a jungler, as a full-time jungler, and you're allowed to bring one Portuguese player with you. Who do you pick?
Oh my god. That's a toughie right there.
Yep. Good
I mean,
luck.
I mean, it's really hard having to choose one teammate.
It could be from other teams, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's really tough. I wouldn't know who to choose. Honestly,
Give me a top three. Can you get a top three at least?
I mean, I guess if I went through whole, I would have to say probably a mid laner, because yeah, jungle mid lane synergy, it's kind of a big deal, and I would say if I had to choose a teammate, I would bring Shaki, IFM, or Noma, one of those.
Okay. Touche. Haven't heard that name in a long time, by the way. But yeah, touche. Tell me something. Juggling with esports, real life, school, and work, as you were school, as you were telling me before, it's really complicated. Obviously, what is the toughest thing you had to deal in esports for you? And when you look back, what do you believe was the hardest thing you had to sacrifice to be who you are today? If you look back into from when you started playing until now, obviously you had to sacrifice a lot of things because scrims are not easy. You're juggling with a lot of things in your life. What was the toughest thing you had to leave behind?
I wouldn't say leave behind, but something that really well gets narrowed down is like family time.
Yeah.
I don't really go on vacations because also the schedule with your masters and stuff. We really don't have vacations. Vacation is at the end of the year, and normally at the end of the year it's Christmas. So yeah, I would say that's the most that I have to give up about handling scrims and playing solo queue and having college. I mean, I've done it for a few years now. I've managed it. I think I managed it quite well. I can't really all in one. I need to keep doing both, and yeah, I don't mind it so much.
Is there any team you could look into, even NA if you want? Any team you look into to be like, I would really like to play in this team one day.
I mean, I think for most European players, they would say G2 because
Okay.
yeah, it just seems like a really good environment to be in, and they are kind of free to do what they want and play what they want, and yeah, it seems like a very nice environment. So yeah, if I had to choose, I would say G2.
I
From
mean,
NA,
picking high, man, picking high. But yeah, on NA, yeah, tell me.
from NA, I mean, not sure. I've always liked the C9 before, but yeah, maybe I would say C9.
Maybe C9. Tell me something, Owner. Parting message for all the Portuguese fans, for the Phoenix as well. You're about to go in on the good clash on the knockout stage of play-ins. What do you have to say to them?
I mean, hopefully we won't grief. Hopefully we play our game and yeah, we manage to come out on top. I'm pretty hopeful, and so should you be.
Me too. I should be unbiased, but I'm really hopeful to finally see LPLOL on main stage. That is one of my dreams, and I'm really hopeful. I think White
I mean,
Dragons and For the Win have a really good shot.
I mean, I've been in main stage, but it was when the access was direct. We didn't have to go through planes. But since the planes, we haven't been in main stage.
Yep, that's the thing. That's the thing. We only got to main stage when we were allowed to be on main stage. Now that we have to fight for it, it's not working out, guys. Thank you so much, Owner. It was a pleasure to talk with you, man. And best of luck on knockouts. And I'll see you on main stage, I hope. I'll see you, man.
Thank you for having me.